Hey everyone, this is Yami, your Latina next door. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have 3 high-end DollarTree DIYs, and we're going to start with these clear ornaments. First thing you're going to do is remove the top to the ornament, and then you're going to take any acrylic paint that you might have on hand. I'm using silver marlin, and I am just going to pour it inside of the ornament. Now, acrylic paint can be kind of thick, so you may need to water it down a little bit. However, I learned real quick that you can't water it down too much. So when you do need to water it down, just be a little cautious with the amount of water that you do put in it. And basically, you're just going to pour it inside the ornament and you're going to let it coat the entire interior of the ornament, changing its color. Now, when the entire inside of the ornament is coated, remove any excess back into the little bottle. Now you can definitely leave it like this and just have a custom color for any ornament that you wish to have. However, I decided that I wanted to add gold leaf to it. I have seen some ornaments like this online, and I've actually had this gold leaf for a while now, wanting to do this, and I just thought this is the perfect opportunity to do so. So I took out the gold leaf, and this was my first time using it, and while it does take a little bit of getting used to, it's actually fairly easy. You want to go ahead and pull out one of the sheets, and then I just used Mod Podge, and what I did was I took a brush and I dipped it into the Mod Podge, and then I just kind of dabbed it all over the ornament in different places because I did want a very random pattern to my ornaments. So after you add the amount of Mod Podge, and you do want to be a little bit liberal with the Mod Podge, I actually wasn't, and I learned that after the fact because then it won't stick so well. So you want to add quite a bit of Mod Podge, and then you just want to stick the gold leaf right on it and then tap it over the areas that have Mod Podge with that brush. And what it will do is it will actually remove bits and pieces of the gold leaf while adhering other parts, and it will give you a completely random pattern. My daughter says it actually looks like a visual of the earth from outer space. And in order to save as much of the leaf that I had, I actually took off some of the pieces that had broken off, and I would just adhere it back onto different places on the ornament. I set these aside to dry, and then I went over to the little tops, and with a little bit of gold acrylic paint, I started painting them because I didn't want it to have gold leaf on the actual ornament and then a silver top. It wouldn't look so good. So with a couple of coats of this, it actually made everything look a little bit more cohesive and high-end. I added a little ribbon to tie it to the tree, and that was it for these Christmas ornaments. I love how they differ as far as pattern, and while they have a nice serene color of blue in the background, I love the pops of gold that they have from the gold leaf. Alright, for the next ornament DIY, we're going to use the exact same clear plastic balls from DollarTree. Now for this DIY, the ribbon that I'm using is actually from Hobby Lobby. It's $1.99 regular price, but at half off you get it for $1. Now I like this one because it's actually a very beautiful embroidered ribbon, and it looks really high-end in my opinion. Now, DollarTree does offer some lace ones that you can use as well, so feel free to use that if that's something that you like better. The first thing you're going to want to do is remove the top of the ornament. I removed any fraying end of the ribbon, and then I proceeded to glue it onto the ornament. Now what I did was, in order to get a straight line, because I want to go from the very top all the way around the ornament and back to the other side, was use the little seam line that's on the plastic of the ornament, kind of I guess where it fuses. So what I did was I followed that line all the way around, adding little dots of hot glue to attach it on, that way it wouldn't slide all over the place, and then bring it back up to the top of the ornament and then glue it down. down. I'll cut off the excess and then start another strand. I place the second ribbon perpendicular to the first one. And since I used the seam of the ornament on the first one, I knew I had a straight line, so I kind of just used that as a guide. And I just went all the way around, just like I did the first time, across, and then back over to the other end of the ornament. So at this point I had 2 ribbons and 4 different sections, but I wasn't done. I wanted to add more ribbon to each one of those sections, so I did this again twice. At this point, this is what the ornament looked like. All I needed to do was add the top and a piece of ribbon to hang it from the tree, and this is how they turned out. So for the third Christmas ornament, we're going to be using these DollarTree pearls, some greenery, ribbon, and I thought I was going to be using this jute, but then I'll change my mind in just a second because this one didn't work. You will need a thick wire that will maintain its shape like this one. And if I had realized that when I started, I would have probably used one that was not purple, but that's all I had on hand. So what I did was I started feeding all of the beads through the purple wire. Now each of these wreaths takes 20 beads if you want them the same size as I made them, and each of these bags has 40 beads, so you are able to make 2 full wreaths with 1 bag of beads. So when you get to the end of the wire and need to cut it, I only leave enough of it for 1 actual full little bead, or actually pearl in this case. So what I do is I add some hot glue to both ends of that wire, and then I squeeze it into that last bead, and it actually stays in place very well. And this is what I did for both of the little wreaths. Next, what you want to do is take a couple of jumbo popsicle sticks. You can find those at DollarTree as well. However, I had some on hand and I went ahead and used those. So what I did was I took them, and with my shears that I used for my crafting, I cut the ends off of each of the popsicle sticks. Then with a box cutter, I took out little notches on either end of the popsicle sticks, I guess to give it like a little fishtail. Almost like a ribbon, but in this case, it's a wooden ribbon. Next, I took some of these rub-on transfers from DollarTree as well, and I think these were actually given to me by Kristen in the mystery box challenge this past time, but I never got to use them for my challenge, so I'm definitely using them here. And what I did was I just picked some words that were, you know, Christmassy and also could fit inside of these popsicle sticks. And then when I had my words picked out, I just basically peeled them off and placed them where I wanted to on the little wooden ribbon, and then rubbed them on, and then of course peeled the clear film off. So after that, I took some pics. This one's from Walmart. It's only 98 cents. And I also took some pics from DollarTree, which were new this year as well. These were really pretty. And I decided that I would add a little bit of greenery to the top of the wreath. But first, I kind of played around with how I wanted the little wreath to look. I had taken some greenery off and I had placed the little ribbon where I wanted it. And then I finally decided how I wanted it to look. So next I added the ribbon, and I decided to go ahead and put it on the bottom. I then added the little pieces of greenery to the top portion of the wreath. And at this point, in order to stabilize and make sure that the little greeneries did not fall off, I decided to go ahead and add ribbon to this section. So I just cut a little piece out, and then I thought about gluing it on, but then I ended up just tying a knot. Then finally I added the sparkly little berries to the top. Now this is how it turned out, and I think it's absolutely adorable. Now the ribbon is too short to make a bow or to use to hang off a branch, but it's totally fine. I think it's adorable this way, and I just literally hang the wreath on an actual branch. But you can always adjust that if you do decide to make one of these yourself. So that is it for today's high-end Dollar Tree ornament DIYs. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to get more inspiration like this, and always let me know in the comments below which one of these was your favorite. I'll leave you guys with a couple more Christmas videos for even more inspiration, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, adios!